Imagine it, the queasy feeling of sickness or feeling like you're going to faint before you go up in front of a class or a group to give a speech. We've all felt it. I've felt it a lot too, but I became more comfortable with it and feel it less when I give speeches now. This comfort didn't come magically though. I worked hard to achieve it, and one of the things I did was I practiced a lot. The more speeches I gave in this class, the more comfortable I became giving speeches. For example, in our first speech when I gave the geothermal electricity speech, I had really bad stomach problems the night before. I couldn't sleep at all. I was really stressed. But then, in the final speech, the group speech, I had almost no stomach problems and I slept fine the night beforehand. I was still stressed, but it was less and I was managing it. It wasn't as bad. The practice alone didn't make me perfect though. I had a better work ethic. For one, I stopped procrastinating mostly. I still procrastinate a little bit, but not as much as I used to. For example, in high school, I wouldn't do any research or write the speech at all until the day it was due. Whereas now, I spend a lot more time researching and also writing the speech, at least 3 days. I also put in a lot more work doing speeches. I spent a lot of time working on speeches for this class, and I'm a lot more proud with the work I've done because I never did that before, and I think the speeches I've done for this class are a lot higher quality than any I've done before. This comfort and better work ethic combined to make much stronger speeches than any I've made before. For example, I spent a lot more time writing them. I would write both rough drafts and final drafts for the speeches in this class. I never did that before. And yes, it was required, but in the final draft, I really took the opportunity to refine my speeches, I think. For example, with the geothermal speech, I feel like my final draft was a lot more refined and higher quality than the rough draft for it, in my opinion. I also did better research in this class. For example, I had a circumcision speech in high school as well. For it, I did the minimum amount of research. I had weak sources, and a lot of it was just my own opinions that I had formed over time. I didn't give sources. I also barely practiced for it, and again, I wrote it the day it was due in class and turned it in at the end of class. This just did not give good speech quality. Whereas for speeches in this class, I did a lot more research for. With the circumcision speech, I researched for at least 3 days beforehand to get really strong quality sources. And then again, the geothermal speech, I researched a lot for it at least 2 days despite already having a strong background and stuff like that. This all combined to have much stronger speeches than I had previously. This was a great semester. I want to thank you for being a great professor because I love this class. And I hope you and everyone else has a wonderful summer.